I am that I am, Adamus of sovereign domain. Let's take a deep breath and welcome in 2019. Welcome in 2019. How many of you, let's turn these lights up because it's going to be about you for a little bit here. How many of you actually thought you'd make it this far into 2019? Probably you thought you would. How many didn't think you would make it, or were just kind of wondering? 2019, when you thought, even 20 years ago, that seems like a long time away. How many weren't quite sure they were going to make it into 2019? I say there should be more hands up. Oh, maybe they're all online. It's kind of an interesting thing. There's almost that struggle that's going on within, part of you thinking you just weren't going to stay here a long time in this lifetime. Some of you thinking, yeah.
But Adamus, you told us we were sticking around. You told us.
I said,
shouldn't we believe you?
I said, if you want to stay around. If you want to stay around. That's why also at one point I said if it's only 5 of you, because that's about all I expected would stay around. But you made it. 2019, big year. 2019 is going to be bigger than 2020. 2020 sounds better, 2020, but 2019 is going to be a bigger, I would go as far as to say better year for you than 2020. 2020 is going to be kind of a bore after this year. You'll need it, the nice relaxation.
A bore?
Before we do anything else, let's take a good deep breath. How about a quantum breath into allowing? Into allowing. It's perhaps the most sacred gift you could give to yourself is just allow. This journey is natural. It's going to happen. By taking a deep breath and allowing, you allow yourself, you allow the divine, the master, all of you to be here, not scattered in pieces somewhere else, not the divinity out in some godforsaken heaven somewhere, but when you take a deep breath and allow, you let it all be here. There's no real mystery in any of this, other than when the human gets involved and starts tinkering around with a very natural process called realization. Sooner or later, it'll happen to everybody who comes by way of earth. What you probably noticed up until now is that when you get all involved in it, you try to figure it out, you try to work your realization, it's a real struggle. Things fall apart. When you simply allow, allowing yourself, allowing your journey, allowing your experiences, allowing the master. When you allow, then there seems to be that synchronicity. Everything just kind of falls into place and just kind of happens. And then, of course, the human freaks out. Oh, I've got to control, I've got to manage, I've got to dictate what's done. Let's start this year out with a great big, huge allowing. Let yourself enjoy this year. This year, I'm going to call it the year of new friends. The year of new friends. Yeah. Oh, some of you laugh because you don't have any friends and you can't imagine. It's natural, too, that you'd lose a lot of friends along the way because they don't quite understand. It was kind of difficult to talk to them about what you're going through. Weirdos, sometimes even other chambra. So you get to that thing of not a lot of friends in your circle. But this year, 2019, is going to be the year of new friends. I can see some of you thinking, I don't really want new friends. No, been there, done that. Too much work. These friends are different. These friends are going to be very different, and we'll get into that in today's Shoud. But for now, how about that good deep breath of allowing? I was at the Ascended Masters Club on New Year's Eve. Decided to hang out there. It had been a long year. I was kind of tired, just needed to relax a little bit. And one of the other Ascended Masters came up to me, Mesra. Very attractive woman. Oh, can I say that these days? Woman?
Nah, you can't.
A former person came up to me, Mesra. You know, you get to the Ascended Masters Club and you can put on anything you want. You can be a man, a woman, both at one time. Why not? You can do anything you want, but there's still kind of a tendency that you'll notice when you get there is that the Ascended Masters tend to kind of still outfit themselves from their most previous lifetime on Earth. They still tend to walk around in that identity, projecting it out to others. I think because they consider it to be the most special lifetime. Even ones who are famous may not take on that famous persona, they'll take on their last lifetime persona. So there is that, what I love about realization, the Ascended Masters Club, and being an Ascended Master is you can play any game, any story you want. You can act it out. You can act very human at the Ascended Masters Club. You know, we drink a lot of scotch and bourbon and fine wine and eat a lot of food. You can still do these things, but you realize it's all kind of a beautiful story, a beautiful illusion. You don't get trapped in it. You don't get addicted to it. And before I go any further with the story of Mesra, you know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There's absolutely nothing on this earth, whether it's chemicals or minerals or anything else, that's actually addictive. Nothing. Physically addictive. Mentally addictive, yeah. And you could believe that you're addicted to a physical substance, but it's really just a mental addiction. So with that understanding, it's relatively actually easy to get over, he's staring at, getting over addictions. I think dear Linda Visa is going to talk to Calder afterwards about his mental addiction to cigarettes. So you really can't get addicted to anything. And I say that because I'd like you to start being free of your fears that you're going to go back to drinking too much or smoking too much pot. Well, you're doing that anyway. Or whatever it happens to be. Addictions for Shambra are going to be a thing of the past. They're really, because with your new relationship with energy and an understanding of what an addiction actually is, it's going to be a thing in the past. You are now free to enjoy life without worrying about getting addicted. Isn't that nice? Yeah. And then you're gonna really start to realize, for those who are addicted, the hell they're putting themselves through, and the blame and the hopelessness at times, and it's really just a mental thing. It's like a form of hypnosis. But to continue with my story, I was talking to Mesra, and she said, you know, they taunt me sometimes because I guess I'm a little pompous once in a while. No. And I'm a little, I hear all sorts of words now coming in. Arrogant might be a good word once in a while. But more than anything, it's actually, I'm just really proud of everything you're doing. And I know it's hard. And you really know how to make it hard. But no, I'm really proud of how far we've come. And she said, so, Adamus, so what's with Shambra these days? What are you going to be doing in 2019? What's the big thing? And I thought about it for a moment. And I said, you know, Mesra, it's really time for new friends. And that's what we're going to do this year. And that's how we're going to kick things off today.
Human friends?
I'm not going to define it quite yet. I'll leave the mystery, the suspense. So, and that's always, I love giving a little theatrical lessons too. You get to be a master, an embodied master on this planet. You know, you got your stuff together. And nothing really phases you, bothers you, overwhelms you, unless you want it to, just for the fun of it. But as the master, you also learn, take on that sense of theatrics. Now, I know that I had a past incarnation as one of the greatest playwrights in the world that the world's ever seen. But I learned a lot from, it was kind of a despicable character, that's Shakespeare, but I learned a lot in that lifetime. Act it out. Play it out. Go from gray to colorful. Have a sense of timing. Timing. Do you know what timing is? It's not just everything is delivered in the same all the time, and have a sense of timing. Be expressive, and when you're working with your students, which many of you will be doing, I mean, not necessarily with a shingle, that you have some spiritual enlightenment practice, but you're going to be working with others. Where's the book?
Fell on the floor.
Fell on the floor. The book is a great start. That was the whole concept behind the book. It wasn't just to have all the keyhawkers write stories. It was saying, you're going to be teaching one way or the other. Stories, your stories of the master. And as a master, you're going to start having fun with stories. They're no longer going to overwhelm you and put you under and haunt you and all the rest of that. You're going to thank you. You're going to start having fun with your stories, but be a little theatrical with your students when they come to you. Do a lot of this kind of thing. Learn to use your eyes. Mm-hmm. Don't sit there like, oh, and learn some gestures. And gestures that, when you're talking to the student, really get them concerned, because they'll say something like to you, they'll say, oh, sorry, I don't even know if I want to live anymore. And the typical reaction is, oh, no, really you do. And you're like, Sardis, like, and that'll get their attention. That'll really get their attention. So be a little theatrical. So in addition to everything else, officially this is the Year of New Friends, but kind of sub-line on this whole thing is, come on, be expressive, be a little theatrical, whether you're writing a story. There's some great theatrics in this story. You know what Chambers did? They took their personal, boring, dull experiences and made them kind of fun, turned it into a story, got lighthearted with it. They took what came from their personal life, and it might have even been a tragedy, and made it into a beautiful and fun story, one filled with wisdom, humor, some theatrics. So that was the reason for this book. And the reason why I wanted it out by December 31st, end of the year, let's kick off this year with some theatrical stories. Have fun with it. You're not making it up. I mean, if you embellish something from your life, you're not making it up. You're just embellishing it. You're just adding a little color to an otherwise. It's like if your dinner plate had kind of brown meat and brown potatoes and brown gravy. You're just putting some green and yellow on there. You're just and some red with cranberry sauce. You're just making it a little bit more fun. Humans get so dreary with their stories. I'd like to see some T-shirts. I always ask for T-shirts and they never come, but I'm not dreary. Just plain and simple, reminder to yourself, I'm not dreary anymore. Okay, this year, some theatrics in your stories, okay? Don't be afraid to act it out. So, the Year of Friends. Year of a lot of movements. Now, I'm going to talk more about it in Pronost. The dragon enters. Next week. This is going to be a crazy year. I mean, this is going to be one hell of a year. You can already see it. You don't need to be a prophet like I am to see it. Ups and downs, a lot of divisiveness. Is it not going to be a kumbaya year by any stretch of the imagination? But for you, I'm going to say it's going to be your best year yet, for maybe 98% of you. Why do you think that is? Because you're tired of the other way of doing it. You're tired of the other way, and it can be easy. It doesn't have to be difficult. All those experiences They're just big fat stories. So let's take a deep breath, a quantum breath for that incoming master, spirit divine into your life, where you're not alone anymore. We've got all these other things coming in.